And welcome back to the Autonomous Developers Biweekly Sync. We have a lot to go over today, so we'll just dive right in. First, I wanted to introduce our newest engineer, Carlos. Carlos, you want to say a quick couple words, maybe where you're from, what you're working on?
Okay, so I'm Carlos. I'm a software engineer here at Autonomys. I'm on the product engineer team. I have some experience, like 3 years of experience in crypto as a software engineer. I live in Andorra, that is a country near Spain, but I'm originally from Spain.
Cool. Great. Well, we're super excited to have Carlos on the team. He's already kind of hard at work on some of the auto ID related work. So yeah, glad to have you. All right. Next, Jim, you want to update us where we are at community, stake wars, all the good stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, so the big hot topic, the main hot topic, of course, on everyone's lips is Stake Wars 2 and when is it going to restart? We're going to talk on some of that now right on this call, but there will be a dedicated section on a community call that we're going to hold on Wednesday. We're going to cover the problems that we've encountered. We're going to cover the path to restarting, including all the fixes that have gone in, and also asking for everyone's help, of course, to help us push that over the final hill there. So obviously internally we've been testing, the team been testing on DevNet and TestNet. We are aware that there's an issue, or could be an issue with withdrawing and or unlocking stake on Astral at the moment. I need to get an up-to-the-minute update on that. I need to test that myself. And I want to say thank you to those who have returned min stake that was claimed but not used to stake an operator. I do hope we're going to see more of that before we restart. As I mentioned, we're going to have a community call on Wednesday. We're going to discuss progress updates in the wider context, and not just what's been going on with Stake Wars 2, but also in the context of the March to Mainnet roadmap that I introduced a little while ago. And something very exciting, going to be introducing our new head of marketing, Peter. I'm really excited about that. Another thing I'd like to highlight actually is from ecosystem is that we had over 400 applications for the Q3 ambassador cohort, which is great to see, and we'll be working through that in the coming weeks through those applications. Final item I wanted to talk about really was Space Acres. It's been getting some love on user experience internally. We've had a kind of an improvement, a feedback, an improvement loop going on, which has included localization efforts. Those who have seen Nazar's appeals in Discord will see that we are asking for help from the community to help with translations. It's nothing like the crowding translations that ecosystem team normally ask for. It's a much smaller subset. If you're able to help us because Space Acres updates are also, of course, always supported by documentation updates from ecosystem. And in the biggest story there, of course, is that some of you may have noticed that we've rebranded the docs at last. That was quite a big task. Thanks to Emil, who's on the call. They have been rebranded, and almost everything now is migrated over to our autonomous.xyz or xyz domain. There are a couple of outliers. Our medium still needs doing, for example, but we are pretty much moved over onto our new domain, which is quite exciting. On the rest of the Space Acres UX item, so we can't really claim this as an ecosystem achievement because it has been a collaboration between multiple teams internally and community feedback. And of course, Nazar, who is making, testing, and releasing code changes. I have a list in Nazar. Do you mind just giving us a quick run through of all these great changes that really do enhance the experience?
Sure. So first of all, I'll go kind of in the order that you will see those things in the app if you started. So first of all, if you start an app, you will see that there is a better loading process. It will show you as it goes through different steps and give you a progress bar approximately where you are, so you can estimate how much time it will take to start. Then you will probably notice that there is multilingual support if you are in Serbian or Chinese user interface. We will add support for more languages as they come in. Then if you go to the configuration screen, the few things you will notice is you will be able to specify not just the absolute amount of space you want to dedicate for your farm. You'll also be able to specify a percentage of the free space. So every time Space Acres restarts, it will readjust itself. So you always have, let's say, half of your free disk space available, regardless of how much actual disk space available you have. And there are also advanced configuration options in the app where you can limit your plotting CPU usage to quite a large degree. Um, the things you will not notice unless you hit an error is that there is actually a check for the free disk space on the node path and on each farm path. So if you do not, and not only that, you will also have the check for the writing permissions. So if you have some location that you cannot write to, it will warn you right away instead of going through all of the pain of configuring everything and then restarting and it doesn't work. It will also try to catch the reward address. If that address is EVM address, it will warn you that you will need to use substrate address. That was a common confusion for many users. Going further, we have desktop notifications that was requested quite a bit. So you will see notifications when you sign a reward successfully, when you miss a reward, when some farm fails or node crashes or something like that. And then if you minimize it to trade for the first time with the close button, it will actually tell you that it's not closed, it is minimized, so you know what's going on. There are many small things like it will restart when it crashes for whatever reason. It will have graceful shutdown, so you will see the progress as it shuts down instead of just like disappearing and still hanging around for a few seconds, which is very confusing if you want to restart it quickly. There is also improved logging. It will capture some more libraries for different edge cases on Windows that were not captured before. There are some error handling. When you hit an error, it will give you some buttons to go to logs or go to documentation. That was also like a dead end previously. It wasn't clear what to do next. And there is also better plotting thread selection on Threadripper and Epic processors, as well as hybrid Intel processors. The way it was selected before was kind of using too much basically resources. So even if it's replotting, it was kind of hard to use computer for other purposes. Now it should be much better. And the final, probably like minor thing, if you minimize it to tray and try to open it again, previously nothing was happening, but this time it will actually reopen the app, which is kind of the expected behavior. So overall, like many different things, and there are some also bug fixes that should greatly improve experience, and we can expect more of these going forward.
Thanks, Nazar. Yeah, I'm very pleased to say that I just got my first notification from Space Acres. I signed a new reward successfully, and I'm thankful for securing the network, which is lovely to see. That's excellent. I'm really pleased. And obviously, all these changes, there might be just lots of small ones, but it's all adding up to this much bigger UX shift, and it's a much better experience for a broader spectrum of not just hardware. Things like the CPU plotting reduction or CPU usage reduction while plotting feature is something that I'm definitely using, but also just taking away some of the friction around configuring for those who are maybe not so technically savvy. And I think it's great. I think it's really wonderful. It's getting to be a really polished product. I know that it's built on solid foundations, but getting the experience right is an ongoing process. And as always, community feedback is what helps us improve more than anything. So please do let us know if you've got a good idea. I think Nazar, you mentioned that we're down to just 6 issues in Space Acres, so I don't want to invite an onslaught, but yeah, we kind of, if you have something, a niggle, please do let us know. Ping one of our ecosystem team on Nazar and Discord.
Yeah, previously we were only really handling the happy path, and now we are down to handling different edge cases, so you do not really hit a dead end. For example, previously, if you specify the wrong farm size, it would just error, and there wasn't really much you can do except going to the directory where the config is stored and either manually edit it or delete it and start over. Like, it wasn't a pleasant experience. Now it will just downsize automatically and we'll move forward happily.
Yeah, thanks, Nazar. I'm a sticky customer with Space Acres myself, so yeah, that's really great, and your efforts are appreciated, of course. That's it for ecosystem. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, great. Moving on, we've put out, I think, since the last DevSync, a couple of runtime upgrades to Gemini 3H. We have some updates regarding that. I just realized we didn't tag ahead of time who's doing that update. Is that Ning?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, on Gemini CH, we had facing quite a lot issue on domains like unspec thrashings, and we have fixed the thrashing issue, but also to fix being out of it to like stop the domain from progressing, and we had another fix, and now you can see that domain are progressing, both the EVM domain and like domain are working. And also, we need to do a more step to restart stable tools to reimburse the operator or nominator that had got thrust. And we also have some update and improvement on the extras. Yeah.
Great. I think you were also slated for the XDM updated.
Yeah, for SDM, which is cross domain messaging, that will enable the functionality to transfer funds between domains and also between the consumption and domains. And while we already have all the functional SDM on Gemini CH and also the fraud rules implemented, but we still experience some of the issue more related to the performance of the layer that will slow down the operator things, and also you like keep trying to learn duplicate messages. Yeah, this kind of performance issue, and we are working on some fixing these issues, and it will soon land to Gemini Switch and open for the user to use.
Great. Another big update coming is we've added Council on Democracy to the repo. So Daria, you want to update us where we're at with that and what the purpose even of that is?
Yeah, sure. It's a little step towards well, democratic governance of the chain. So previously there was only a pseudo key that could enact like protocol upgrades or register new runtimes for domains or do stuff like that. Now we have adopted the same model as Polkadot uses. So it's inherited from Substrate, and it's called it's comprising of Console palette and Democracy palette, and it's currently going to be initially restricted to the Council of Subspace Foundation, the Swiss entity that's going to be launching the network and initially governing it. And yeah, if you're curious how that works, you can search on YouTube, just like Polkadot Governance or Polkadot Democracy palette. We are using like out-of-the-box solution, also to be honest, and not trying to customize or trick anyone. And it's going to be a way to at least initially more democratically run protocol upgrades following mainnet, and a step towards democratizing it and letting initially users will be able to vote on the upgrade proposals that are proposed by the council. And then on the long term, it's also going to be open to anyone to propose motions and upgrades, and then to vote on them as a whole community. So one step at a time.
Nice. All right. I think our let's see, the final highlight here is going to be the Astral leaderboard demo Mark has been working on. Just want to highlight, we've been moving, one of the big things since the Stakeboards 2 Astral interface issues, we've been moving towards a more kind of micro indexing architecture. And one of the benefits of that is just being able to get very specific and more robust data in the different parts of Astral. And so this leaderboard demo that Mark is about to do is one of the kind of outcomes of that. So Mark, go ahead.
Yes, exactly. I'm sharing my screen, and so you should see my screen. So now the new leaderboard has a lot more categories. So for farmers, we can list address by amount of times they voted and created a block, or the amount of value they got from rewards, just votes or just block counts. Usually you don't really care about the position and the rank of everyone. You just want your own position. So now you can very quickly filter to know your current rank. Same thing for accounts. We got a lot of different lists. I'm going to probably reorder them by what makes much more sense. Like farmers should probably be more important than accounts. But transfers, the amount of transfer you sent or added value you sent, received, the amount of time you sent remark, plenty of different leaderboards that we created. Same thing for operators, the amount of tax collected, bundle created, so you can see which operator actually contributing the most to the network. Same thing for nominators, for the deposit value, deposit count, redraw. So yeah, hopefully this should probably be merged before the end of the week. And so hopefully we'll get some feedback and hopefully it's going to help and give more data.
It's amazing work, Mark. There's a lot of information there. So we love information. All right, and I think we had one final thing to go over. I think Daria, were you going to tease something? What was this?
Oh yeah, it's
White.
a little teaser. We're going to be coming up with a new updated white paper with everything that the protocol and the project has gotten through, and it's really exciting. So there was an original subspace white paper, I think more than about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even more. Then we last year, more than a year ago, I think about a year and a half ago, released second consensus white paper that was specifically about like farming, plotting, that part of consensus. And now we're going to be releasing a new white paper that's more encompassing of the whole system. So not just the protocol itself, but also like the DEI use cases, the app layer, our vision of the future, our vision of radical autonomy, a lot of inspirations and references that we have used. I think it's got like 69 references or something, maybe 70 already. So it's going to be coming very, very soon.
That's exciting. Updating all the information, all the things we're doing. So great. Well, I think that's all we have for this week. As always, thank you for your time and watching this, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks.